So today I'm reviewing something I received the other day, and I'm surprised it turned up as quick as it did. It's a Transformers Masterpiece, and it is Masterpiece Reboost. Now, he is really small, but the detailing they've used for him is really good. I don't know if you'll be able to see because the camera won't focus, but you actually have a painted Honda badge with the word Honda at the side, and they've actually managed to reproduce the City R logo at the side. Now, this guy is fiddly to transform because that is the underneath. The worst bit of the transformation are the arms. Oh, and for a Masterpiece, they've reverted back to using plastic wheels. So there are no rubber tyres on this one, I'm afraid. It's all plastic for the wheels. Now, you do get some special features for the vehicle mode, and that is, if I can come to the back, you get an opening boot where you can store the little motorcycle that he comes with, which is here. So you get a little folding motorcycle for the person. You get, as I just said, a person, and this one is holographic. So that is almost impossible for the camera to actually lock onto, but it's literally the same as what comes with, I believe it's MP-54. Now, the weapons can store in the boot, but you have to make a decision. You can have 2 weapons in the boot and then leave 1 in the box, and have the motorcycle in the boot too, or you can have all 3 weapons in the boot and then you have to have the motorcycle in the box, because you can't have both, I'm afraid. Now, another opening parts, just have to crack open the side, and then the doors will open, like so. So you have opening doors. You can put a driver in there. Now, unfortunately, there are no steering wheels or actual seat parts in there due to costs, but you can get the person in there if you try. Now, the last bit is fiddly, and that is the bonnet. Now, I've seen people open it wrong and break it. People think you pull straight up. You do not. You pull up gently so you hear a little click, put your nail behind here and slide forward. Now you can lift it up, and that reveals amazing engine details, which is really nice. And these 2 hole bits here, that is where your wing mirrors will fold into for the conversion, which I actually really like. So to close it up again, you just push it down, push back, and it should click the little tiny peg that's underneath the bonnet into a tiny hole at the front. So if you didn't see the hole, I will just point it out. There you go. That little notch, and where is it? That tiny little peg that's just in front of my fingertip. That is all it uses to keep the bonnet shut. So that is basically the opening parts that you get. Now, like with most of my videos, I do a quick comparison to another figure. Well, the only other figure I've got to hand is MP-20 Wheeljack. So that is how they stack up together. That is wheel to wheel. And actually, that doesn't look too bad. Their scale is fairly accurate to what they would be in real life. Now I'll put Wheeljack down because I don't need him again until I do the robot mode. So, transformation. This is one of the fiddliest little figures I've had in a long time. So this could take a little while. But you have to, if you can get the boot open, you have to open the boot. It's on a slider, so you have to slide it out to be able to lift it up. You want to crack open the doors. And if you haven't done it already, they extend because they are on a little pin on a slider. So when you close them, you slide them closed on the pin. And when you open them, you have to extend them out on the slider. So you basically need it like that to be able to start your transformation. All you do, first step, is dislodge the roof, like so. And then you want to bring down the knees. So first step, I would get that out of the way. And that is your leg filler, because back of the robot mode legs is here. And as you can see, it's literally the boot and hollow. So I like the fact they've given a little filler for the legs. You can split the legs apart now. You want to lock the thighs in place with the leg fillers. Unfortunately, the leg fillers do not lock in place, they just sit there. But that doesn't really bother me, but some people I know can be picky. Now, there is actually another hinge, which is a bit odd, on the top of the legs, so on top of the thighs. Now, for this hinge, you have to slide the thigh out and it rotates up. There's a tiny little peg inside that has to lock in place. And to be honest, it is one of the weirdest peg places they could have picked, but I can see why they've done it, so I'm not complaining. Now I will have to disengage the feet. The feet are on a double hinge. You want to pull out the toe, which will tab into that slot. Now you want the heel spur, so that pops out. Now the wheel doesn't stay here, it will rotate under and it will sit on the other side, which actually lifts the wheel higher up so that the bottom of the foot is completely flat. Now I'll just do the same to the other side. This one's a little tighter than the other side. The double hinge doesn't really hinge. And you can actually pop out the back of the leg filler. I have just noticed that if you do open it, you can see where the hinge sits at the back. So if you actually put your finger in there, you might be able to push down on it to help you pop out the leg or the foot. But that's only if you need to. So then they just sit there like that. Make sure you've got the feet pulled all the way forwards. I've definitely gone wrong somewhere, but I don't know where. Interesting. Oh, there we go. It didn't lock. Right, so make sure you slide the feet all the way forward. They actually lock and you get a slight gap like that. That is how you know the feet are in locked position. So I haven't been doing it correctly since I got it, but there we go. Right, now you've got the back. This actually has to slide back up and fold under like so. So then it can sit like that, and that will just then tab into place when it needs to. Now, unfortunately, I've made things very difficult for myself because I should have probably done the arms and got them out the way, and I haven't untabbed them. So that's one arm out. Be very careful with the arms. The shoulders here, if you can see, they're only held in by little metal pins. So they will be very fragile. So one wrong movement and you will snap this thing. So although he's one of my favourites currently, he's a nightmare to play with. So you want to fold your wing mirrors in. They will go into the body. And then you just simply tab it shut, which hides the mirrors. You can then crack the windshield up and pop out the head. Now there is a tab which is fairly tricky, and it's the torso here. So the blue bit has to rotate up and tabs in place, and the red bit here, you actually have a tab and a slot either side, and they basically act as fillers to hide the exposed underneath, but also keep the body together. But you have to have them lined up precisely. Otherwise, I discovered they actually put up a very good fight to get them locked in. And I think I may have just got it aligned perfectly first time. I've definitely gone wrong somewhere. So that then just tabs into the back. You can now rotate the head around. So as I just said, you actually fold it to make a literal groove, and there's a little blue tab just here, which you might not be able to see, and that literally just locks the roof into place, like so. So that roof's not going anywhere now. The head's rotated around. You just open up the doors to the sides, like so. And now to the arms. The arms are fairly straightforward. So the wheels actually have a tab in them. If you can see, there's a little slot. And here is a little tab which you have to line up. The wheels will become part of the shoulder. And when tabbed in, like so, you rotate around to reveal the new front of the shoulder. Rotate the arm, and that's an arm done. And simply you just do it straight again for the other side. So normally I don't go for the official Masterpiece figures. I often go for the KO or the third-party ones. Now, Reboost here, on the other hand, is an official Takara Masterpiece. So here you go. This is Autobot Reboost. He is a repaint and design of Skids, who is upcoming, along with Crosscut as well. They all share the same mould. So he's not the biggest. He is about deluxe size for a Masterpiece. Articulation's very nice. You do get the opening hands as you would expect for a Masterpiece, like so. Now if I just stand him here, I will grab his weapons. He comes with 3 weapons, and they're an interesting choice of colour because they're chrome. So these literally just have a little tab on the underneath, and you have 2 tabs. You have a tab at the side of the arm, you have a tab at the front of the forearm. So you can tap them wherever you want, like so, to give him weapons. There you go. So he is now armed with his weaponry. Now, unfortunately, with the next weapon, I have to take off one of the other weapons. Due to the way it's shaped, you can't have both on. Now this one actually has a handle as well as the tab, because this is meant to be his handgun. So basically what they've done is they've strengthened it by integrating the hand into it as well. So you align the handle with the hand when it's open, and then you just tab it into the arm as you would the other weapons. Like so. So that is now secure and going nowhere. So he's not a bad figure. I mean, compared to some of the others, he is very small. I have got one in its robot mode over here, which I'm just grabbing now. So the only other one I had to hand in its robot mode is Ultra Magnus. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of a difference in size. So I'll put Magnus off to the side. And I actually got asked the other day about what's the difference between the person that comes with Reboost and the people that you'd get with Ultra Magnus. And actually there's not much difference at all. And I believe I have just broken... There we go. Yep. So be careful with the little person. I've just snapped the arm off. And literally that was the first time the person came out of the box. Brilliant. So if you have it, substitute the clear person for one of the ones that came with Ultra Magnus. Because they are about the same size. And I honestly don't know why they made it holographic. Clear plastic on a small scale like that is extremely fragile. But anyhow, as I was showing you, this is Reboost, transformed. Everything folds away cleanly. You do have to sometimes pop the tabs back in that hold the torso in place. But other than that, he isn't very bad at all. If you get a good look at the head sculpt, now I have heard from people that actually think this looks like Optimus. It looks like an animated Optimus almost for the head sculpt they've used. And actually I can see what they're on about, because I can actually see that. Now, nobody really knows anything yet about this character, other than what the box says. And the box claims he is a Citadel Guardian. But he's a bit small, so yeah. He is a Citadel Guardian, apparently. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this guy. Other than that, if you can get him, I recommend him. He is actually a lot of fun for his small size. So that is basically it for the video. Oh, and the paint they've used, literally the whole car, everything red is paint. The only things not painted, from what I can see, are the toes, the hands. I believe he's had some paint here for the blue here. The head sculpt has been painted. They've actually also managed to paint the details on the door, so the key slot has been painted on. You've got the fuel filler cap with the key slot. Your tail lights are painted on. Now, your headlights are different. They are painted silver, and they've actually fitted a small piece of plastic over the front to act like the lens. So that is Masterpiece Reboost. Thank you for watching, and I will be back again some other time with another video. See ya.